So I'd like to officially welcome you to the launch of the Partnerships for Forests program here in East Africa.
Imagine a farmer standing at the edge of a forest here in Kenya or in Ethiopia, as Feka mentioned, where we also invest. That forest protects the river that waters her crop, it stabilizes the soil beneath her feet, and it even shapes the rain that her crops depend on. Now imagine the choice she faces. Do I protect the forest, or do I clear it for farmland to survive today? This is not a theoretical decision. It's something that is happening every single day across East Africa. And too often, we have asked communities to protect nature without giving them a viable economic alternative. We always talk about plant the tree. That is why we are here today. It's really a pleasure to welcome you to the launch of Phase 2 of the Partnerships for Forests program in East Africa.
When smallholders gain diversified incomes, fair pricing, and a genuine stake in the value chain, they become the region's most effective stewards of forests. P4F's data shows that early-stage forest enterprises rarely follow the fast growth curve typical of other sectors. They need patient, blended capital to grow and scale. And we've learned that investment only truly scales when it is paired with the right enabling conditions: policy reforms, committed off-takers, and strong governance at local levels. Our strategy for Phase 2 is built on 4 pillars that shape a more sustainable, inclusive, and investable forest economy in East Africa. First, we are strengthening community forest groups so they can manage forests legally and sustainably, as well as access markets for their timber products. Second, we are helping SMEs and community groups grow thriving businesses around non-timber forest products by improving quality, processing, and access to markets. Third, we are partnering with corporates to scale regenerative landscape-level models in value chains such as coffee, cocoa, and timber. And fourth, we are scaling agroforestry by empowering SMEs to support farmers with seedlings, processing, certification, and better market access, turning agroforestry into a mainstream climate-resilient solution.
I think we are all at least aware of the challenges of the smallholders and the challenges to also address their needs in a structured way, right? So I would be interested to hear about maybe the lessons of what has worked in Phase 1 in terms of structuring further the support and the type of engagement that's needed for smallholders, and if you've considered, or if you would consider, the role of medium-sized or larger farm playing a community hub type of role in further structuring the sector that is kind of, let's say, maybe not broken, but really challenged as a sector. And if you see a role for these maybe larger farms to lift the community up and further maybe help integrate the smallholders.
So for Phase 1, in terms of structuring, I would say ultimately the most successful P4F projects there there was always a really strong demand side player, off-taker basically, who wasn't just a simple transaction, but they were more engaged in the value chain, providing kind of long-term security for the farmers, providing long-term business for the aggregator or the exporter, and finding those aligned, committed buyers, I think was often when projects took off and kind of sustainably grew beyond P4F support. And to your second question, so I think your question around like the nucleus farm model, and I think it is a really interesting model. it's something we've looked into in other projects as well. And you know, I think we would need to kind of review each one on a case-by-case basis, depending on the maturity of the value chain that the hub is trying to serve, and the needs of the farmers and how that hub is going to support those needs, because it will be very different in different landscapes.
Like for us as an organization at WRI, we also seek to be, concessional. So curious whether there's any, partnerships on that front beyond the direct actors on the ground.
We just started our pipeline and portfolio building activities. So in terms of the window, we are doing it on a rolling basis. As was indicated in the video, we are using our strategic pillars to kind of identify the opportunities to, both for organizations and partners that we want to work with. So whether it's in standing forests, in non-timber forest products, as well as working with corporates to regenerate landscapes, and lastly with SMBs. So we are using our own networks. Part of you are part of the partnership right now. Some potentially would be partners with us.
Success for P4F East Africa is a future where standing forests are valuable, productive assets, and where local communities are fully part of diverse, nature-positive value chains. It's a future where we see deforestation fall sharply because markets are stable, demand is strong, and businesses commit to zero deforestation models. Success means financially viable, investable business models, supported by tailored finance and technology, are no longer pilots but are replicated and scaled across the region. It also means policy alignment, public and private sectors working together to create the incentives, regulations, and market conditions that make sustainable practices the default. And at the heart of it, success is when smallholders truly benefit, with diversified incomes, stable livelihoods, and fair access to premium markets and restoration incentives.